Hi everyone, this is Fran from the Scottish band Travis, and you're listening to 89 FM The Rock.
Oi, eu sou a Mariana Paulino e eu conversei com Fran Healy, vocalista e letrista da banda Travis, sobre o novo álbum que eles lançaram em 2020, em uma entrevista exclusiva para 89, a Rádio Rock.
Do you like doing what you do?
Do I enjoy what I do? I do. There's aspects of it. Doing singing and singing songs is a very special job. I'm very it's like you have to have a vocation for it. It's like being a priest or a doctor or someone that's got a service to the public or to other people. So I take it very, very seriously, and ever since I was little, I knew that I had to do something important, you know, that I have to give something to people, to help people. I didn't quite know what it was, and then through the years you go, oh right, I can sing, and then I can write songs, and then I'm in a band, and then I never wanted to be like a big star or anything. It's never been something that I wanted to do. Like it was more like like I say, it's like a priest. Like you just want to help people, and I think singing songs to people, even as light as that sounds, I think it's very important. I think music's the closest thing we've got to God that that we have, that everyone can enjoy, and it touches people in different ways, and so in that sense I enjoy what I do because I'm doing what I'm here. I was put on the planet to do this. Other aspects of it I don't enjoy are like just all of the stuff that goes with it, like doing interviews, like actually going on tour and all the traveling and all of the waiting around is kind of like, it's quite boring. And now with COVID, this year has been, it's kind of doing a simple task takes probably 8 to 10 times longer for me. So if I have to do a session in a radio station, I have to record myself, get the band to record themselves, then they send me their music, then I mix it, then I send it to the record company, then they send it to the thing, then they come back to me and go, could you do a video for it as well? Then I have to get the band to do a video, then they send me their videos, and then I get the video, and then I have to edit the videos together and put the sound on it and then send it. So it's taken a lot longer to do one simple thing than it did. But, there's good bits and bad bits to it. So it's not a straight answer, but I do enjoy what I do. But like anything, like you have good days and bad days. I'm sure you have the same in your line of business.
Yeah, we live on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
The bad days make the good days better. So they're part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I make you some questions about the new studio album?
Sure.
So, about the new studio album, 10 songs, how did you decide to returning to composing?
We've been doing this since 1997. And we've been in the band I've been in Travis since 1991, which is a very long time ago. And like from what we were talking about before, this idea of a roller coaster, that's sort of how inspiration comes and goes. In a way, inspiration is almost like it almost has a tidal, like the tides, high tide and low tide. Mm-hmm. It has a tidal feeling to it. So when you start in the band in 97, it's kind of high tide, and there's a lot of you know, the sand is the water's high, and there's lots of stuff going on. And then around about, I think, when I became a father, especially when I became a father, the tide was low, and I spent my time not on the band but on my son, which I really feel strongly about. Like, if your job as a parent is the most important job above everything, because you're making a human. You know, you're putting hopefully a good person into the world, and so I did that for 14 years. And then a funny thing happened. I was talking to my son about, he was asking me about the band, and, well, you know, Papa, why don't you go on tour? Like, why aren't you doing this? And I was saying, well, because I chose to be a dad more, you know, for you, just to be here. Because if I was to go and do the band the way I did the band back, you know, 10 years ago, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't see me, and you wouldn't have a dad, and I just didn't want that to happen. Anyway, he went away, and maybe about a week later he came back, and I was playing the piano, and he's like, Papa, I really want you to do the band now. I want you to go. I'm good. You've done your thing, and then I'm fine. You can do the band. And it was like, really, it was kind of cool. It was a really lovely moment with him, and so it's high tide again, and I have been very, very creative, and very being a songwriter or an artist is weird sort of dichotomy between being very selfish in that you need to spend a lot of time alone by yourself, writing songs, making albums, touring, etc. But there's also this selflessness with it, with the performance of songs where you give yourself away. So it's kind of selfish and selfless at the same time. And so you kind of got to strike a balance. And now I'm doing a little bit of, you know, selfish time where I get to concentrate fully, focus my laser on the band, and that's why the album feels a little bit more full and good, I think.
I see. It's a personal moment for you and your partner.
Yeah.
So, why 10 songs? Did you write only 10 songs for this project, or are there any ones left?
I wrote about maybe 150 ideas, and out of those, I pulled 10 that were the best. I didn't want to put out an album. I mean, this is like a trope. I've heard so many artists say this, and it's like, but I'm only can tell my truth, and that is, I didn't want to put out an album that had any weak. When I say weak songs, I mean songs that aren't truthful, songs that don't come from the heart, songs that are not about really, really, truly what I'm feeling. And sometimes in other albums there are those moments. But this album, I thought, no, I want to make this all about every single song counts. And so calling the album 10 Songs was to say, here are 10 individual songs, and they are important. And there's a few more out there, you know, out of the 100 or so the ideas that I had. But right now, these are the ones that felt like they were the truth, and that's kind of what you got to go by. And yeah, the title, 10 Songs. I think I listened to music just now, and I'm appalled, absolutely appalled at the quality of songwriting. It's become, I don't know, like nobody talks about it's all just made up. There's no truth anymore. I put the radio on, and it's either like a jingle that you might have heard 20 years ago in a cornflakes commercial, and someone's put meaningless words on the top, and everyone's like, yeah, or it's just something that doesn't mean anything at all. And I come from a time when, like, the first song that I heard, I remember hearing that moved me was Imagine by John Lennon. And it's a perfect example of the kind of song that I want to hear, and I think people need to hear, because it's like food for your soul. It's someone making saying simple things, like simple wishes, but they're universal and they mean something, and they're not. And when you hear it, it moves you. It goes deeper than just in your ear and out the other ear. And but right now, I'm trying to, as a songwriter, I'm trying to figure out why maybe the quality of songwriting has gone in a different direction. I mean, a lot of the stuff in the charts right now, I wouldn't even call songs, because it's more just like music with singing. It's like people just singing on top of music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, can tell.
You know, so I think maybe the reason for it is that the technology is so good now. You can make things sound amazing. So you can be almost tricked into thinking, oh, this is amazing, because it's got this do beat, and it's got this great bit of sound on it, and then there's someone who's got a great voice singing words on the top. But really, when you look closer at it, and it may be this idea of looking closely at songs maybe just infers that maybe in modern life these days, everyone's kind of sleepwalking a little bit, and they're not really paying attention anymore because there's not much to pay attention to. I don't know. So for me, the act of writing a song is really radical, and it's like, this is an actual song. I'm writing it not to get in the charts, not to get on the TV, or not to get on radio. I'm writing this song to make sense of something that's happened in my life, and I'm writing this song to make myself feel better. It's just like therapy. And hopefully when someone hears that song, they'll be healed as well. They'll feel better for maybe hearing it. So, and that's kind of why I called it 10 songs. It looks simple, but it's a little bit more deep than that.
That's great. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm sorry. I was talking about the album. It is really interesting. You took the picture behind that picture. Well,
the badges come from the idea of about talking about the songs. So these badges represent the songs, and a song is like a badge. You know, if you wear, like, if every song was a badge and you wore your favorite song, like a songwriter wears, when they sing their songs, it's like it's a badge of honor. You know, you've been there, you've done it, you've felt that feeling, you've felt that sadness, or you felt that happiness, or that relief, or that something. And so just this simple idea of like badges, I kind of liked it. And I mean, originally the artwork was just a plain blue cover that just said Travis 10 songs, and the record company were like, it's a bit shit. Can you maybe think of something else? And I'd done little drawings for all of the singles, and so I took those and developed them a little bit further into these badges. And so this idea of wearing, you wearing your heart on your sleeve, or wearing a song like a badge of honor, to say that you've been there and done it. But yeah, it turned out nice. It's a really, actually, quite a beautiful photograph, because it's so, if you zoom into it, really closely. It's so detailed. It's almost, you can get right into the threads of the jacket.
From the music, from the songs, from the album, do you have a favorite one? Be it from the process of creating it or the result itself?
Yeah, I've got a few favorites. It changes, it jumps around a little bit. I liked, for a long time, I loved Waving at the Window, which is why it's the first song on the album, because it was my favorite song for a long time. But that's now changed, because I've lived with the album a little bit more. I mean, then I went on to really enjoying The Only Thing with Susanna from the Bangles, which was, it's just a lovely song. And now I really love All Fall Down, which is another song. I mean, I really, I gotta say, I love all these songs. They're just, all of them are very close to me, and they were recorded very, very well. Like Valentine is another really good song because it's so heavy and crazy and loud. And it's the sound of us playing all together in a room together.
I see. About the Only Thing, was it always meant to be a collab?
I wrote it with from the perspective of two people. Weirdly, I didn't think of it being a duet, but it was written from the perspective of two people, one singing to another. But when I came to a point where we were thinking of recording the song, I suddenly thought, oh, this could be a duet. And I wonder who I could ask. And I'd met Susanna on Twitter 1.5 years earlier, just because, I mean, she didn't follow me, I followed her, and she left a video of herself singing Eternal Flame, and I left a little message saying, oh my God, this is a great voice. But I left a message with 800 other people, all saying, oh wow, great. And then she got back and she said, oh, we love you too, we love your band. And I was like, oh my God, Susanna Hoffs, it likes my band. And so I remembered that, and so I wrote to her, and she's great. She was like, yeah, let's do it. And I went round to her house. I actually went round to her house, and then we had our first meeting, and then she's like, oh, I'm having a party at the weekend, why don't you come along? So it's like a song party. And I was like, wow, yeah, sure. So she lives in LA as well. And so I went to her house that Saturday, and it was like Madame Tussauds. Like, it was like a wax museum of famous people. And I'm like, oh my God, like everybody's here. And we ended up, everyone was singing and doing songs, and I ended up singing with Neil Finn from Crowded House, and the guy who wrote, I think his name is Billy Steinberg, and he wrote Like a Virgin, and he wrote Eternal Flame. And so there's all these, she had this amazing party, very inspirational. And then the next week I went and recorded her singing for my song. So she's very cool, and I'm just kind of still quite happy and bowled over that she agreed to be on our album.
Oh, I see. Thank you. About Eagle's music video, I saw that you directed and animated it. What's the idea behind it? How was your process of creating this music video?
I just sat. Well, it was right at the beginning of the lockdown. It was April, around about April, and my management, they're like, okay, we've got to make a video for A Ghost. I already had a sort of idea for it, and I was going to film it. And I started calling, I started calling people, you know, cameramen and crew and various people and producers and such like, and they were all like, sorry, we're in lockdown, we're not working. And I couldn't get anyone to work because you're not allowed to in California at that time. I soon found out this is what was happening. So the only thing to do was to draw it. And I looked at the calendar and I had 1 month, 30 days to hand this in. And I did a calculation. I drew 10 seconds of animation just as a test. And then I saw how long it took. So it took about 12 to 14 hours to draw 10 seconds of animation. And then did the math and figured that if I had 30 days and I drew, like if I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning and drew for 14 hours for 30 days, I would get a video at the end of it. And so that's what I did. I'd stayed in bed for 30 days in my room, and I drew and drew and drew and drew. And then I had about 47 seconds of the video left, and it almost like I was making it up as I went along. I had an idea of the video, but the process is so slow that you have lots of time to react and lots of time to think of what might happen next. And you can change your mind maybe 3 times before you actually have to put it into drawing, into paper. And but round about when I had 47 or 50 seconds left, I realised my son had a drone, and I thought with social distancing I could film the end, the last 47 seconds, and save myself 10 days of drawing. So that's what we did. My son came and he filmed it, me playing with the ghosts, because I couldn't get my band, so I got some friends to dress up as ghosts to be in my ghost band, and that's how it came about. And it was a lot of work. I think in the end there was 1,237 drawings for the animation, but it was actually really easy and a lot of fun to do.
So my last question for you is a question that we always do. What has rock and roll teach you?
What has rock and roll taught me? Rock and roll. Let me have a think about that, because it's a good question. It's taught me. It's been my life. So it's taught me a lot. It's taught me where my limits are, where my boundaries lie. It's taught me how to let go and not be so guarded. It's taught me to believe in myself when nobody else believes in you, and you can only believe in yourself. It's a very interesting, kind of lonely place to be, because and yet rock and roll teaches you to have that crazy belief. It's almost like a religious faith, but it's a faith in yourself. But it's maybe it's not rock and roll that does that. Maybe it's something else. But I think you hear so many times people in bands who they have a lot of rejection. There's a lot of your parents like, get a proper job, or your boss saying you'll never amount to anything, or your teacher or whatever, and you've got to believe in yourself. So I think it's not the most practical job in the world, and I don't blame people for thinking you should get a proper job, but it's taught me belief in myself, my limitations, and it's shown me how good people can be, because we get to play in front of people and you see people at their best every night. I have the best job in the world, actually. That's one of the good parts of the job. So yeah, it's taught me a lot. It's definitely taught me a lot, rock and roll.
Okay, thank you, Fran, for this amazing talk and your time.
Oh, thank you so much. And again, your questions were brilliant, and a lot of fun chatting to you. I noticed on your picture on your Skype, are you holding a camera? Do you take pictures too?
Yeah, I like taking pictures, filming videos also.
Great.
Like
well,
art.
keep doing it. Yeah, keep doing it. Keep making things, because it's such a nice. I love taking pictures as well. It's a lovely feeling to do that. So good. Keep going.
Thank you. You too. Keep going with the pictures.
Thank you. All right,
Thank
Mariana.
you so much.
Take care.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
89, a Rádio Rock.